Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I am back with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys about Transformers characters who deserve a little more spotlight despite the fact that they did not originate in G1. Now, as many of you know, I am a G1 guy, but I do appreciate the newer additions to the franchise, and I think they could use a G1 styled update in the Generations line, which is now currently within the War for Cybertron Trilogy. Now, this will be my top 5 non-G1 characters who deserve a Generations update. So sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, or becoming a channel member today. Before starting this list, let's set a few ground rules. First of all, these Transformers have not had their beginnings in G1. This includes the original cartoon, comics, and toy line. This doesn't mean that a character who uses the same name as another is excluded though. Some Transformers characters were named in later series because Hasbro needed to keep the trademark despite the character bearing no resemblance to their G1 counterparts. I also don't think that any of the characters listed here have any more importance than another. As such, I think they could all use a proper update in a G1 style, or could greatly be improved upon with their original designs. However, this list represents the characters that I've appreciated over the years, and I think that they deserve more time in the spotlight. So without further ado, let's get this list started. Number 5, Demolisher, Transformers Armada.
Hey you! What did you do with the humans?
I ate them, and they were quite tasty too.
Loyal to the Decepticon cause, Demolisher came to Earth with Megatron in search of the Minicons. His anti-aircraft missile tank mode comes with a lot of firepower, and his Minicon partner, Blackout, can operate his cannons. After Unicron's destruction and Megatron's apparent death at the end of Armada, Demolisher became a guard at the Autobots' Ocean City during the events of Energon. But when Megatron returned, Demolisher reluctantly rejoined his leader. Self-sacrificing to save his commander, he was destroyed by an Energon shield.
Just for what you've done to me, you will pay for this crime!
Rebuilt into a new body that transformed into a dump truck,
Are we having fun yet?
Demolisher was reprogrammed to be even more loyal to Megatron. His original toy, though it has a decent tank mode, has some stability issues in robot mode, since he's very top-heavy. However, many fans like his design overall, and his character arc in Energon is one that is well remembered.
And this insignia used to mean so much to me.
If he were to receive an update in the Generations line, his hands would need to have those blasters removed onto the back of his hands so that he can hold a Battlemaster, whom his Minicon partner would probably be sold separately as. Like other toys from Armada, Demolisher could certainly benefit from the added posability of the current Generations toy line. Number 4, Dinobot, Beast Wars Transformers.
I prefer to beat my opponents the old-fashioned way.
Probably the most popular character during the Beast era, Dinobot was originally a Predacon who joined the Maximals in Beast Wars.
You were a Predacon once. Become one again. What do you say?
Eat slag!
Transforming into a Jurassic Park version of a Velociraptor, Dinobot was armed with his rotating blade weapon, a spiral sword, and his eye laser beams. His Predacon nature created tension with him and the Maximals, especially Rat Trap.
You've been messing with the wrong mouse, chopper face.
Wait.
However, he proved himself to be one of the greatest heroes in the show when he alone took on the Predacons in his standout episode, Code of Hero. However, his toy suffered in its attempt at transforming a raptor into a decent robot mode. The cartoon heavily departed from the extra kibble it had, and it ditched the often forgotten about Dino's skull mask. He did, however, receive a Generations toy back in 2008, but it was not well received since its colors are very different from the cartoon, and he's very slim. He has had an Henkei recolor, and more recently a Masterpiece toy as well, but the old chopper face certainly deserves a new Generations update. The major issue, of course, would be getting it to work well in both modes. But I'm sure any Beast Wars fan could hope for it someday. Number 3. Obsidian and Strika, Beast Machines Transformers. Now I'm aware this is not one but two Transformers for this entry. However, these two Viacon generals coming from the Beast Machines cartoon work best as a duo.
Look now, but I think there's a new sheriff in town.
Make that 2.
Obsidian is a military genius who transforms into a Cybertronian helicopter.
I am as I've always been. Obsidian.
His consort, Strika, is just as intelligent
Terminate. Obliterate. Can you believe they fell for that?
and the two were known for being two of the greatest generals in Cybertronian history. Transforming into a Cybertronian assault vehicle, Strika was a force to be reckoned with. Since the two were introduced in the Beast Machines line, their toys lacked any resemblance to real-life vehicles. The only time they ever received an update was as BotCon exclusive recolors, and both have had made cameo appearances in other Transformers media as well. However, Obsidian and Strika could really benefit from a modern update with Earth-style vehicle modes and better posability. Number 2. Bulkhead, Transformers Animated.
Excuse me?
This heavy-duty Autobot was one of Optimus Prime's crew in Transformers Animated. While his name is a reuse from an older Autobot helicopter from Transformers Energon, the animated character was well remembered for his clumsiness, which often led him to accidentally breaking stuff. Despite his destructive tendencies, Bulkhead has a spark of gold.
All people want me to do is break stuff. I got a sensitive side too, you know. Breaking stuff is kind of fun.
And he's certainly an expert space bridge technician. Transforming into an armored transport vehicle, Bulkhead could take a lot of punishment, and his hand could become a powerful wrecking ball. His popularity in animated was most likely the reason why he was chosen to be a main character in Transformers Prime instead of Ironhide.
I'm retiring from active service, Prime. Very well, if you feel that strongly about it. But we shall miss you, Ironhide, old friend. I miss you already.
This version of Bulkhead was originally part of the Autobot task force, the Wreckers, before joining up with Optimus Prime.
Your spark is mine. Wrecker.
Dropping Animated's clumsiness, Prime's Bulkhead was a gentle giant who had a strong bond with the Autobots' human ally, Miko.
I'm Nico. Who are you?
Bulkhead.
While toys for both Animated and Prime have been decent for the character, he certainly deserves to be added to the Generations line. Keeping his bulk, an armored vehicle would probably work best and would help differentiate him from the G1 Autobot Hound.
Just turn me loose, Prime. I'll sniff them out.
Especially since the Bayverse version of Hound was designed to look more like Bulkhead instead of his G1 counterpart.
I'm like a fat ballerina. Take scalps and slit throats.
It was hard picking a list of just 5 Transformers that deserve a Generations update, especially since the franchise has grown so much over the years. However, there are some characters that I think were just as praiseworthy. In fact, some of those who were considered here have also received Generation updates before as well. So here are my honorable mentions. Black Arachnia, Beast Wars Transformers.
You can't fight my cyber venom kitty cat. But don't fret. I'll be back for you.
Hotshot, Transformers Armada.
Hey, you're nothing but a big phony! I'll take you on!
Arachnid, Transformers Prime,
An intriguing proposal. If ruling Decepticons or spending any length of time with you were of the slightest interest to me.
Lugnut, Transformers Animated,
Master, I am not worthy. I am not worthy.
Barricade, the live-action films.
Are you username Ladiesman217? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you username Ladiesman217?
Now before I move on to number 1, I do want to take note of that last one. The name of Barricade got his start as a Micromaster back in G1. The name was used once again in Transformers Energon before it was popularly assigned to the live-action Decepticon police car. However, Transformers artist Guido Guidi made a G1-style drawing back in 2012, which served as the inspiration for the redeco of Siege Smokescreen in 2019. Since the Earthrise toy line is also releasing a version of Smokescreen, it's possible that Barricade could receive a G1-styled Earth update in the future too. And now, on to number 1. Slipstream, Transformers Animated.
Size. That's it. Everyone, aim for the legs!
As I've talked about in my Seekers video previously, recoloring Starscream has become a staple in the Transformers franchise and has led to an entire army of characters all made from the same toy. In Transformers Animated, this was achieved when Starscream literally cloned himself, with each one taking elements of his own personality.
What are you talking about? I am the original Starscream. Liar. I am the original Starscream.
One of them was an unnamed purple and teal-colored female, who was later given the name of Slipstream in the Allspark Almanac.
So, which part of me did you come from?
Don't ask.
A new version of Slipstream was introduced as leader of her own squad of Seekers in Transformers Cyberverse. As seen in the cartoon, Slipstream developed a rivalry with Windblade, and was eventually promoted to commander of the Seekers when Megatron deposed Starscream at the beginning of Season 2.
Now you will give him orders. Yes, Lord Megatron.
While she did not officially appear in G1, I've often pointed out that an unnamed purple Seeker that could possibly be Slipstream in the More Than Meets the Eye pilot. As for toys of the character, Slipstream hasn't had the best treatment. A retool of Generations Windblade was released exclusively in Japan to represent the animated version of the character. And a Collectors Club exclusive was a retool of Prime's Starscream. The toys for Transformers Cyberverse have been good at resembling the character, but they heavily lack articulation and are extremely gimmick heavy. If a new toy of Slipstream was to be created for the Generations line, she'd need to be an all-new mold. Since she is one of the Decepticon Seekers, keeping some of the jet elements from Starscream is a must. But like her animated Cybertron games and Cyberverse counterparts, she'd also benefit from having similar features to other female Transformers. In addition, adding her to the ranks would also open the door for army building the mold in multiple color schemes, very much like the other Decepticon Seekers.
Oh well, plenty more where they came from.
But what do you think? Do you agree with this list? And do you think that there are any other non-G1 Transformer characters who deserve a Generation-style update? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you like this video, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe. I'd like to thank my patrons and my channel members for your support. I've got many more Transformers videos like this coming soon, so stay tuned. And as always, until next time, till all are one.
What are you waiting for? Destroy Megatron! Now!
Any leader has to be an improvement over you!
I will remain loyal to you forever.